guys, what is up? This is Shatner's Prodigy, and today I'm bringing you my Fabled Quasar deck profile for the April 2015 format. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because my last one blew the hell up. It got like 800 views, 7 likes. It's by far the most popular video on my channel, so I'm assuming that's what you guys want to see. So I've updated my setup a little bit. I'm no longer using a bagel and 3 Dragon Ball Z books. I'm using a knife cutlery set, a kitchen cutlery set. So with that in mind, let's get right into the deck profile. We're still running 3 Grimro. We'll run this card till the end of time. If you're new, if you haven't seen this deck profile before, Grimro is your searcher. You can discard her if you control a face-up Fabled monster. And you can add any level 4 or lower Fabled monster from your deck to your hand. So unless you're running the Fabled Salza, it searches out literally everything. It can be dead sometimes, but it's also nice level 4 bait. Again, if you've seen this before, don't worry about it, but if you have Crus and Chawa in your hand, and this card in your graveyard, you can discard Crus, special summon out Chawa, bring Grimro out, and then just sync up for a nice little Reagan. So yeah, there's that. Okay, moving on. So next up we have 3 of the Fabled Nezuchi. I like Nezuchi. I like him a lot. He allows for really powerful plays. He's a spam card. If you discard a card like Cerebel, and you have a card like another Cerebel, or any level 2 monster in your hand, you can spam out 3 monsters. He gets stuff out of your hand and onto your field. And that's really what you're looking for in this deck. He can also bring out the Fabled Raven. Where are you? You can also bring out Raven without having to use your normal summon, so that's good. That's why I run him. Really, he just makes good plays better, and you never, and if worse comes to worse, you can always discard him for Lurie's effect. Yeah, he's a very powerful card. Next up, we have 3, the Fabled Cerberel, and yes, this is real life. They are all secret rare. Yeah, this guy, no more. That's right, I found my other secret rare one. I'm happy about that. Now my deck is back to being all blinged out except for all the commons I have, because I am the budgetest player on Earth, but whatever. So yeah, 3 Cerberel. He's good. He just special summons himself out whenever he's discarded. Level 2, you can use him and Reagan to go into Michael. Not much to say about him. He's kind of just a staple. Then we have 3 Crus. Crus is the monster reborn of the deck. When she's discarded, she brings back 1 card. She's good for making powerful plays. Worst comes to worst, you can just summon her and use Grimmer off of her. She's just all around a great card to have at almost any point in the duel. Next up, we have 3, the Fabled Chawa. Now, this guy is the bomb. He's a V-Fabled monster, meaning he was part of the 2nd generation of Fables that was released in Hidden Arsenal 4 or 5. Yeah, 4. And what happened is, this guy allows you to discard any Fabled monster from your hand to special summon himself, which is an insanely powerful effect, because you can discard, obviously, Crust to get any card back from your graveyard. You can discard Cerebel, you can discard Ganashia, you can discard Lurie and make Formula Synchron, Ganashia, go into Phonon Pulse Dragon or Armory Arm. It just opens up so many options, and he is the driving force in your deck. You can bring him back out with Soul Charge, 1 for 1, search him out with Where Art Thou, Ayers Rock Sunrise him back. There's just so much you can do. It's really a world of possibilities. Next up, I'm running 2 Ganashia. This guy, I run him at 1 and 2 intermittently. You can run him at any value. He's good at 1, 2, or 3. I'm just running him at 2 now because I don't really have anything else to put in the deck at the current moment. I'm not really testing out any attack. On Dueling Network, you'll see my deck is running, I think, 1, but whatever. Just play him at whatever works best for you. I don't have any problems with it at 2. I don't have any problems with it at 1. It's another one that special summons himself out whenever he's discarded. But he's also a beat stick at 1800, and if he's sent to the graveyard after he's special summoned by his effect, he gets banished. So yeah, just be careful whenever you use him to synchro summon. Make sure you go into Librarian or something with him if you have desynchro, because you can't desynchro back a monster that was special summoned if both materials aren't in the graveyard. So just be careful of that. I've been caught with my hand in the cookie jar a lot of times with that. Next, we're running 2 Ravens. I love Raven. If it just opens up so many plays. If you normal summon it, it can discard any number of cards, which is good. It can get dead cards out of your hand. It can do a whole bunch of stuff. If you synchro summon a Reagan using this card and something else, and you have a desynchro set face down, it's really, really good, because you can summon out Reagan, draw 2, desynchro, special summon it back, discard any dead cards, then go into a Reagan again to draw 2 more. And that's what makes it really powerful, is just the interaction with desynchro. So definitely run this at 1, 2, or 0, it's up to you. If you are running the Fabled Nezuchi, I would run the Fabled Raven, because you can special summon it off of its effect, and there's not really anything else you really want to summon outside of Raven. 2 Lurie, run him at 1. I wouldn't recommend running him at 0. He just is there to improve plays. He just special summons himself whenever he's sent from the graveyard again. Let's see. Where is he? Jawa. Okay, so this is obviously just a formula synchron play. You can't go wrong with that. Next up for the one of monsters. Again, you've seen these two. You've seen Level Eater and Tuningware. Tuningware, this guy generates huge pluses. Level Eater is just a combo maker. It can really just get things going. It can summon itself infinitely off of Fabled Quasar. And Tuningware just gives you a draw whenever you summon for it. Tuningware and Librarian, in fact, if you use them in combination with Reagan, will always go on chain links 1 and 2 if you use both of them, because they're mandatory effects, and due to Sagok, mandatory effects go before optional effects. So yeah, keep that in mind so you don't cheat yourself out of draws. And next up, I got Dynatherium, which is a 50-cent card now. Since my audience unexpectedly doubled whenever I uploaded that deck profile, I'm going to assume that a lot of you don't watch my series, so you haven't heard my rant on this card before. I replaced Black Dragon Collapse Serpent with this card because it's so much better. If you know what Black Dragon Collapse Serpent does, it's a Nomi monster, meaning it can only be special summoned by its effect, and it can't be special summoned by any other ways. And that means it can't be soul charged back. You can't bring it back if you use it to summon out Reagan and use Desynchro. Well, this card can do all that and more. And above all, this card can never be dead. If you draw this card, no matter what the situation is, you can always just drop it onto the field. And that's really what makes this card so much better than Phonon Pulse Dragon ever was. Just that ability to just summon it and never worry about anything. Unless your opponent's playing like a rank 4 deck, where they have a bunch of level 4s on hand. If they're playing Satellar Knights, it's bad, because they can bring back their Altier, they can bring back their Deneb, get pluses off of that, but as stated, I always scoop to Satellar Knights anyways, so whatever. And finally, I splurged. I saw some guy selling it for $4, so I picked up the Glow Up Bulb. Glow Up Bulb, insanely good card. You know what it does. It just special summons itself. It's good. I mean, there's not much I can say about it. It's a playmaker. Dump it with Foolish Burial, dump it with Raven, it's just always there. Next up, for the one of spells, we have Soul Charge, no need to explain that. 1 for 1, no need to explain that. Discard anything, get out, Glow Up Bulb, Chawa, Lurie, whatever you need to get your combo going. Foolish Burial, this is for graveyard manipulation. If your hand is like this, and that's pretty dead, but if you also have a Foolish Burial, you can obviously send the Grimro and go for that play. You can also send a bunch of other stuff if you want to feel your Soul Charge plays more. Draw Muscle, if you have a monster with 1,000 or less defense, which really everything in this deck has 1,000 or less defense. I think even Dynatherium has 1,000 or less defense, yeah. Yeah, Dynatherium's 600, so if you have any monster in your deck outside of the extra deck in defense mode, just use this card, draw 1 card. I'm sure you guys know this, but since it is a quick play, you can't use it the turn you set it, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. Yeah, it also protects your monsters from battle if you need to summon out a Level Eater and sit on it for a turn, but I mean, that never happens. Where Art Thou? If you have a level 1 monster, add a level 1 monster. It's really powerful, get your synchro plays going. And Double Summon. I like Double Summon, I'll run it. I used to run this card called Photon Lead, but this card is just so much more consistent. And yeah, it can extend your plays further if you're out of options and don't have any normal summons left. It gives you 1 more. And I'll take that. So, 2 of spells. Desynchro, no controversy there. It turns into Pot of Greed if you have Tuningware and on a Formula Synchron, or it turns into Graceful Charity without the discard if you have TG Hyperlibrarian, Tuningware, and a Formula Synchron. It's really powerful. Use it on Reagan to get 2 more draws. Use it on anything. It's always going to be super helpful no matter what the scenario is. And if worse comes to worse, you can just draw it, set it from your hand, and draw 1 more card off of Reagan. I mean, it's never going to be an unwelcome sight. And next off, we have 2 Dark World Dealings. Just draw a card to discard a card, dig through your deck, and trigger your Fableds. I wouldn't run it at 3, I wouldn't run it at 1. 2 seems like a really perfect amount. And I bumped this card up from 1, which is Ayers Rock Sunrise. Now, you can only use 1 per turn, and what it does is it special summons out a Beast monster, which, another reason why I dropped Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, that includes Dinotherium, because he is a Beast-type monster. I don't know if you can see that. So yeah, 2 Ayers Rock Sunrise. I increased it to 2 just because I want to see this more often, because it really introduces powerful plays into the deck. It can bring back any of the Fabled monsters, so that includes Cerberel, Ganashia, Nezuchi, and, Chawa. So yeah, that card's really powerful, and it also decreases your opponent's monster's attack by 200 for each Beast-type monster in your graveyard, which is a nice little boost on top of it. And this is one that truly needs no explanation. Triple Upstart Goblin. Next, for the extra deck, we have... let's see. We have... I think I'm right, yeah. We have 2 Formula Synchron. Just draw a card. It's super simple. It helps you go for a 5/5/2 Quasar. And, it's pretty self-explanatory. Next up, we have Armory Arm, level 4. Him and Chawa, wherever he is. This is a mess over here. I don't know if you can see that. That's a mess. Yeah, but him and Chawa give you a Reagan. Speaking of Reagan, we have 3 of the Fabled Reagans. Best card in the deck by far. Whenever he's Synchro Summoned, you get to draw 2 cards. If you have 2 or fewer cards in your hand, which you almost always will. Even if you have 1 card in your hand, he just lets you draw 1. And his effect does go as Chain Link 3 on top of any mandatory draw effects like Tuning Wear and TG Hyper Librarian. So you will draw what you draw off of him, then get your Librarian draw, and then get your Tuning Wear draw, or wherever you decide to stack it. He's super good. I wouldn't consider him at any less than 3, maybe 2. I don't know. I like him at 3. Next up, we have Justice Catastor. That's just because I'm too poor to buy Armanis. Really, I'm a budget player. I'm not going to drop 23 bucks on a card I don't even need. We got TG Hyper Librarian, Secret Rare, for serious buyers only, guys. Come on. 2400 just generates you tons of free pluses. I'll take that any day of the week. Orient Dragon banishes any synchro threats your opponent has. It's a level 6. Level Eater will bring him down to a level 5, so that is certainly a bonus. And yeah. Next up we have the level 7s. We got Black Rose Dragon. Super good if you can use Formula Synchron on it. One thing to note, any card summoned with Formula Synchron will miss timing if it has an effect that can miss timing, like Black Rose Dragon. So if your opponent activates something and you chain chain Formula Synchron, summoning out Black Rose Dragon, you can't nuke the field because Black Rose Dragon has a when you can effect. Next up we have Michael the Arclight Sworn, pay 1,000, banish card. It's good for spot destruction. It's the only real spot destruction in your deck. Next we have Shooting Star Dragon. It's just there in case your Quasar gets destroyed or removed from the field. Just bring himself out. A lot of times this guy will save you from getting gamed, and he'll really just turn the game around. Next up we have the 2 Quasars for whenever you want to go for that Soul Charge swag and bring out a second one, or if you are legitimately able to make a double Quasar. And then we have Photon Pulse Dragon. This guy is probably one of the best cards in the deck. It's probably like him, Reagan, and Quasar are the 3 best cards in the deck. And what this guy does is he is just level manipulation. He's a level 4 tuner synchro monster. And when he's summoned, you can make his level anywhere from 1 to 3. And that, of course, gives you the option for a lot of different Quasars. You can have, let's see, you can have this, and summon this guy out and just call level 1. You can have, of course, the classic 5/5/2. And then you can have, let's see, the 4/5/3 Quasar. And then, of course, you can go 4/4 and make him level 4 with Level Eater. So he just opens up a lot of options. Keep in mind, if you do use his effect to change his level, he doesn't you can't special summon any other monsters for the rest of the turn, so that's a bit of a bummer. Next up, I'm going to go into the side deck a little bit, just because, I mean, I haven't been to locals again since I posted up the last video, so take this with a grain of salt. Crimson Blader, right, this is your out against Necros. Black Rose Dragon, this is just for burn if it's ever there. 2 Max T, I don't see myself ever signing that in, but just in case I need to, it's there. Fissure to deal with Dark Law. I took out 1-for-1 because 1-for-1 is terrible. You lose a card to spin a threat back. Next up we have MST, just for Cliff Warts if I ever see them, or for like, I don't know, spell books if those are still a thing. 1 Defusion for Winda, I couldn't find another one, and I'm not going to buy another one just because. Yeah, so I'll slide that in and pray I draw it against Winda. 2 Imperial Iron Wall, that's there against Macro, Defissure, and Necros. Goes in match, that's there for... it used to be there for Dragon Rollers, but I don't know what it could be in there for now. It's just a generally good card. The Essentials are all wins, so that's not it. I guess if anyone's playing Wind Up or something rogue like that, I can hit them with that. And just 2 Divine Wrath for monster effect negation. So yeah, that's all. I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, I mean, show this video the same overwhelming support you guys did the first deck profile, and I'll keep on making these. So yeah, that's Shatner's Prodigy signing out.